From the tops of roofs to the top of the real estate industry, you're about to meet the man himself in Alabama. That's right, 50,000 YouTube followers and over 250,000 followers on Instagram. Coming up next, Ricky Carruth. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Oh, we guarantee it. Guaranteed today. That's right. Are you excited about this one?
Man, what a guest we have today.
I am jazzed. Ricky, we're going to bring you on in a second. We got to do our quick sports segment here, but I'm telling you, man, we're going to, audience, don't go anywhere. Get out, get your fresh pen going, get you a blank 8.5 by, this is the 8.5 by 14 day for rider downers. You're going to get it right here. We got Ricky Carruth. This guy is going to blow you away. But before we get there, we got to talk about the Cowboys one more time.
Oh, man. Lord. I'm kind of dreading this part of the show today, man.
Well, all right. Well, let's keep it short. How about the Dodgers and the Rays?
Hey, okay, there we go. That's a light. Out in Ranger Stadium, I heard too. So
yeah, they're playing next door. We do have something good going on here in Arlington for a change.
Exactly, yeah, man. And then I heard the crowd has been out there like really good, high energy, even though it's like what, half the people, something like that.
I think they're down to 25%, I believe.
Something like that. So,
but it's bigger still crowds than the Cowboys, I think.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. You just had to throw them in there.
Anyway, we'll just keep praying for the Cowboys and hope that they can pull it around. Yeah. Now, are you an Alabama fan by chance, Travis?
No, I bleed orange actually.
You bleed orange.
I like the Longhorns and I like TSU Tigers.
TSU. Okay. Well, I know we have some Alabama fans out in the audience today. Let's go ahead and bring Ricky on if we could, Mr. Travis, and welcome Ricky Carruth. Sorry, great to see you, my friend. How are you?
Likewise. Yeah, man. Just doing good, man. We actually. To tell you the truth, man, we had a hurricane over here probably 3 or 4 weeks ago that devastated us kind of out of the blue. So we've kind of been in recovery of that. But other than that, we're doing great.
Well, that's terrific. I've been in a couple of those myself down in Houston. And, man, I'll tell you, if you don't live along the coast, you've never experienced one of those. That is something you do not want to go through. So our hearts and prayers go out for the families that are displaced and, that are struggling to rebuild right now. Ricky, I said in the intro, from rooftops to the top of the real estate industry. For those of our audience who aren't familiar with the great work that you do and who you are, can you just take a minute and give us a little bit of the 30,000-foot background on how you got here and what got you started in the real estate business?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I never really, I can't believe I haven't used that, man, from the top of the roof to the top of the real estate game. I don't know why I haven't used that one yet, but yeah, I started selling in 2002. I was 20 years old. Before that, I grew up roofing houses with my father and kind of watching him do his thing on the roof. He roofed all the way till he was 45. And actually, I got him off the roof and got him into real estate. After I'd been in real estate for maybe 3 or 4 years, I kind of somehow got him to take his test and get off the roof and get into real estate. So that's been a blessing just to help him do that and kind of be in a position where he doesn't have to roof anymore. He can actually make way more money. So in 2002, I was 20. I made a meal before I was 23 when the market exploded. Okay, the market exploded in 2003, 2004. Prices literally doubled overnight. So I made a lot of money. I was young, never had money. Family didn't have money, didn't know what to do with money. Made a bunch of bad decisions and bad investments and ended up losing everything in the crash. Right, every last penny, went bankrupt, sleeping on friends' couches, sleeping in my car, went back to roofing houses. So here I am, self-made millionaire, thinking I'm done. I'm literally a real estate mogul retired, and I'm back on a roof, right, at about 24 years old. And eventually landed a job on an oil rig in Mississippi every other week. So I did that for a full year. Through that process, I read 100 books because during that time I was so curious to why I failed. Here I am. I feel like I'm the hardest working guy out there. I'm honest. I'm dependable. I want the best for people. But here I am sleeping in my car. So I was very curious to why that happened. And I was not going to stop until I realized where I went wrong. And I'll tell you where I went wrong. The first part of my career, I was solely focused, and it had a lot to do with what the state of the market at the time. I was solely focused on just closing a deal and making a check. Closing a deal and making a check. Because I came from a blue collar, lower income family, never really had money, and everything was focused around paying our bills. So I was kind of in the mindset of I need money, and here the market is exploding. I need to get as much money as I can. And there was no relationship created between me and the client. And it really came from both ends because the clients at the time, or the sellers, they would make $100,000. You could buy something back in 2003 and sell it 3 months later for $100,000 profit. And these sellers that were selling and making 100, 200, 300,000 flips, they weren't jumping back in the market. They were taking their money and running. So they weren't really there to create a relationship with me either. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of went both ways, but nevertheless, that's how I thought real estate was done. And I didn't realize it was about people. And that's where I lost everything, guys. When you focus your business on the money and the transaction, the closing, the appointment, the listing, you're going to lose. You're going to be average at best. Chances are you're going to lose. People see right through it. You have to build your business around not what they can do for you, but what you can do for them. So it took me having to lose everything, going bankrupt, sleeping on my car to actually realize this. So in 2008, I was laid off from the oil rig, got back in real estate, started building a business on people. And by 2014, took me from 2008 to 2014, grinding 15 hours a day to get to my goal, which was 100 deals a year. So I'm a single agent, right? One assistant, never had a team, don't want a team. I still show every property, go to every listing appointment, closing, inspection, all that stuff to this day. I've closed 100 deals a year every year since 2014. And in 2017, I decided to write a book and share my story. So think about it for a second. I get in real estate, and when I'm 20, I make it, I lose it, I come back, I make it and some. 2014, I hit the top. We're number one RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. And I'm saying to myself, is this real? is this real? Because I made it before and lost it. Like, is it real this time? And so I had to do 2 more years of that. 2014, 15, and 16, 3 years in a row for 100 deals before I decided that I even had something to share. If you look at the coaching industry, there's a lot of guys out there that have been a real estate agent for 2 years, sold 19 properties, and now they're selling a course for $500. Right? It's like, come on, guys, you don't even know what not to do. You haven't done anything. And there's what's even worse than that. So there's a lot of, like, the number one coach in the industry never had his real estate license. So that's why I started writing a book and coaching for free. Okay. So I started a coaching program, 0 to Diamond. Okay. This program is focused around teaching agents how to communicate who they are as a person, that they care, that they're hardworking, that they're dependable, that they're professional, right? As opposed to these paid coaches and brokers and trainers who are trying to lure you in, make you pay a lot of money to teach you how to figure out what the client can do for you, which is opposite from who you are as a person. See, I want agents to communicate who they are as people, right? And through that, create a bond, all right? I call it FE, friend or family effect. When you treat people like family and you build your personal brand around that, you're going to build an incredibly large business.
All right.
So it took me 15 years to...
Before we give all the secret sauce away here, okay, let's go back a little bit. I want to unpack a couple things that you said, and I really, if I can have your permission, I want to dive in between the 5.5 inches between your ears. Is that all right? I want to get inside your head, because what you've done is, winning like you have won is not the norm. Okay. You're exceptional. I know a little bit about you, and I know that you've always had a drive and a will and just a craving and a passion to succeed, whether it was football or I know you played guitar and some other things. But for the audience benefit, let's see if we can dissect a little bit about your your makeup, your DNA. So you said you read 100 books during the time that you went through the crash. Can you give us, out of that 100, what are the top 3 books that you would recommend that somebody in the audience needs to read if they're going to be successful in this business?
Man, my all-time favorite, the only book out of the whole 100 list that I read twice. I read it cover to cover, every single word twice. The only book I've ever read twice, right? It's called The Slight Edge. Have you ever read it?
I have not, no. And I thought I'd read them all.
It's the greatest book you will ever read in your life, okay? Now, Jeff Olson's the author, and it's a little bit like The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, but I'll tell you, man, Jeff makes Darren look like a kindergartner. He really just completely annihilates Darren Hardy. He just tears him to shreds with this book. It's the only book I ever read twice. I'm telling you, it is an absolute life-changing experience to read this book. So that would be definitely all-time favorite number one. The second one, when I think about real estate agents, something that really turned my thinking around and made me realize a lot of things about the real estate industry and how market cycles actually work. Okay, because a few things that I really learned through the crash that were monumental was this. Okay, the fact that closings happen every single day for the rest of your life, no matter what happens. Right. So if you go back through the dot-com boom, 9/11, the 2008 crash, the pandemic, if you go back in your MLS to those moments in time, go there, tell me how many closings were happening every single day, and email me and say, you're right, Ricky, closings don't stop no matter what. Right. And you think about the market changes that will happen in the future. And if it's one of those things, I saw on your feed, once you see that you can gain so many agents and once you can't unsee it. This is one of those things you can't unsee. You can't unhear what I'm telling you once you hear this. Closings happen every single day, no matter what happens.
Right.
And you got people making excuses around the fact that there might be a scarcity of business somehow. No, business is unlimited for every single agent forever, and competition is absolutely non-existent. There's no such thing as saturation of agents in a market. Okay. Market share is not how many listings or closings you have. It's how many relationships you have with property owners in the market, right? Whoever has the most wins. You own the market. Doesn't matter. I don't care how many closings you have. So to answer your question, before you get into it, I want to answer the question with the book, because the book made me realize all this stuff, and that is Shift by Gary Keller, right? And I think that there's a lot of philosophy in that book that I don't agree with whatsoever. And I guess I'll say it on air, I absolutely dislike, hate, whatever you want to say, the $1 million real estate agent, Bible that they have. It's absolutely horrible, worst thing I ever read in my life. But the philosophies in Shift behind how the market cycles actually work and what to look for as the markets are changing and how to adapt and slide through these situations is absolutely brilliant. And I'm so glad that he actually wrote the book. And the third book would be the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Something else that kind of put me on a whole nother level of thinking. So that's my top 3.
Right. Are you friends with Grant?
Not really. I mean, we've chatted a little bit here and there, but he's too big to really, have a real moment with.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So obviously mindset is a big part, if I read you correctly, is a big part of an agent's success. Is that a good statement, true statement?
Bro, it's not a big part, man. It is 100% of it. Okay. It's not like a piece of the pie. Listen, once you know, then you can't unknow it. Okay. If you want to be the number one agent in your area, in your market, it's real simple, right? You find the number one agent, you dissect their business, how many listings they have, how many closings, what type of properties, how many listings they're getting per month, what do they have under contract? Now you know the benchmarks. Now what do? Okay, how many people are they talking to per day? Go talk to more people than they talk to and crush the benchmarks. Now you're number one. It's all, man. Okay, it's this simple. It's this simple, Cliff. Okay. Hey, Mr. Johnson. Hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing? I'm doing good too, right? I'm enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous? Cool. Well, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but a house around the corner just sold from you, and I didn't know if there's anything in the world I could do for you today. Just anything in the world, right? Not, do you want to buy something? Do you want to sell something? Do you know anybody that might want to sell something? Because look here, Mr. Johnson, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I'm trying to see if you or anybody you know might want to buy or sell a piece of property so I can make some money.
Am I getting
It's the exact wrong strategy. You know what I mean? It's just like complete opposite of what it should be. So,
Ricky, I feel a role play coming on here, brother. No, I hear you, man. I mean, you always do. You come from a mindset of contribution, and that's what you teach. That's your mantra. I mean, you're always talking about developing relationships before transactions, and the transaction is just a byproduct of a good relationship, right? I mean, that's really something that happens after you've established the relationship. No,
guys. I mean, how long you got? It's like the people in the market. They have already decided when they're going to buy and sell property. They are going to buy and sell property. It's not our job to try to get them to buy or sell property or handle objections and try to talk them into it. That's not the deal. The deal with real estate is find out what they want to do, why they want to do it, and then help them do it. They've already made the decision of what they're going to do, when they're going to do it. They just need an agent they feel like they can trust to help them do the process. Again, I think we have a backwards mentality of not communicating who we are as a person, that we're just trying to get a deal done instead of actually listening to see what they want. You're too busy trying to figure out what you want. Listen to see what they want, why they want to do it, and then help them do it. It's extremely simple stuff, guys. Extremely simple.
All right, so let's talk about fear for a minute, Ricky. Agents they have fear, like especially new agents, right? I mean, they trip over it in the morning when they get out of bed. What advice do you have for agents to get past the fear?
Tons of advice. So first off, if you take one of those agents and you say, okay, Mr. New Agent, Mrs. New Agent, you're scared, you got a lot of fear. What are you scared of? And the most common answer is going to be, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm scared of. You know what I'm saying? So number one, it doesn't make any sense to me because you're scared of something you don't even know what you're scared of. All right, let's take it a step further. The second most common answer is rejection. Scared of rejection, scared of sounding dumb, scared of don't know this, don't know that. I'm just scared, right? I'm in uncomfortable situations. Well, I got a lot to say to you. Number one, do you have a family? Do you have people that are depending on you to provide a better life? Do you want to provide a better life for yourself? Because if you do, and you're not doing the things that you need to do at the maximum amount of effort every single day, every second that you got, you're not giving it all you have, to me, you're extremely selfish person, because you're literally giving up the possibility of living a better life for you and your family, right, over being a little bit uncomfortable. You would rather be just comfortable and not face a little bit of uncomfortableness instead of living this great life that you can live, right? New agents, listen, when somebody asks you how many properties you sold, you look at them straight in the eye and you tell them none. And that's why you want to work with me, because I'm going to spend 8 hours a day on just your deal. I'm going to make sure this sucker goes through smooth for you. Now, if you want Mr. 100 deals a year, Agent Ricky, you can go on down the road and go talk to him and see where your deal is going to end up on his priority list, because I guarantee it's not going to be number one. And if it is, he's not going to spend 8 hours a day like me. See, here's the thing, guys. I don't care if you're brand new, because you got people that out there saying I'm too old, right? Everybody has an excuse that they could use. The problem is with that is that regardless of where you are in your career, what your age is, what your experience level is, there is always a card to play to your benefit that you can be passionate about. People want passion. People want energy. People want work. They want to know that you're going to work hard to protect their best interest. Agents say, well, Ricky, how do I bring value, right? I don't have, what's my value add to clients? I'll tell you what your value add is. Do you work hard? Do you want the best for them? And they say, yeah, there's your value add. You're going to work hard and you're going to do the best you can to make sure everything works out really good for them. Again, guys, simple stuff. People just tend to look at the negatives. They tend to think about worst possible scenarios and outcomes. And really, at the end of the day, it's one word. It's confidence. Confidence in yourself and confidence that you actually are there to help them. Here's the problem. A lot of these agents are just trying to get deals done. They're not really even thinking about the clients, and that's where they lack confidence, because on the inside, they know their intentions aren't in the right place. So there's a subconscious fear that the client's going to figure them out, and then the clients can hear that in the tone of their voice. Guys, just get out there and help people and stand behind the fact that your intentions are in the right place and build confidence around that and just go.
All right. Ricky, I heard you say once that success is predicated on how much you can handle.
Yes. Yes.
You were talking to my good friend Brian Casella, I believe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Unpack that for the audience here and explain what you mean by that.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro. I am so glad you brought that up, because it just goes back to the fact that you can't unhear this stuff. There's an unlimited amount of business closings happen. Every closing that happens are two opportunities to represent either a buyer or a seller. So you count all the transactions that are happening every single day in your market, and you say, okay, that times two is how many opportunities are happening right under my nose. Why aren't I handling, why am I not getting involved in any of these transactions that are happening every single day? Because you're not talking to anyone, seeing what you can do to help them. I mean, this is real simple stuff. So if business is unlimited and you can't talk to every single property owner in your market ever in your life if you tried, right? And that competition doesn't exist, if all those factors are 100% true, which they are, then now, guys, your success is now predicated on how much you can mentally handle at one time. So, for example, I know agents that have 2 pending deals and 5 listings, and their week is shot. They spend 8 hours a day on what? I don't know what they do for 8 hours a day for a pending deal. I don't know what they do for 8 hours a day on a listing that's getting a showing once a week. I don't know what agents are doing, but you have to find your limit of what you can handle. Okay. I refer to it as your cup. Okay. Your cup, everybody has a different size cup. Your cup represents how much you can mentally handle at once. So I have a really large cup because I do 100 deals a year. I have a coaching business. I do shows like this. This is my 3rd show to do today. So I have a really large cup. A lot of people don't have, they have smaller cups. Some people have even larger cups than I have. They can handle even more. Okay, so everybody can handle a certain amount. Now, you can't compare yourself to other people because your cup may be smaller than theirs. Here's the secret to it all. Find out how big your cup is. How do we do that? We have to overwhelm ourselves with business. Okay, go out there. A lot of people are scared to really put themselves out there because they're like, what if 30 people call me all at once? What do I do? It's like, that's a good problem to have, number one. But number two, you're going to work through those 30 people, call them all back. But what's going to happen is you're going to find out what your threshold is on how much you can mentally handle. So me, where am I really comfortable? What do I really like? I like a good 30 to 50 active listings and 10 to 20 pending deals. Now, I can handle more than that, but I'm building other businesses, right? But that's my threshold of where I like to be. I'm very comfortable there. I close 2 a week. I'm really happy with that setup right there. You got to find out where your mental capacity is on how many pendings, how many active listings you can handle, on a consistent basis. And then you know how large your cup is. And now, once you know, because you overwhelmed yourself with business and maybe it overflowed a little bit, you dial back to where you stay right full, right, all the time. And that, guys, is where you're going to actually find your full potential. That is where, over the long term, if you keep your cup full long enough, you'll actually, and nobody knows what their full potential is because you haven't done it yet. People have these goals and they say, oh, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to do 2 million. I'm going to make $500,000. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But you don't know until you put in the maximum amount of effort over the long term to see what those results are. Those results, you have zero control over those results. You could do $4 million a year, $20 million a year, or you might only be able to do $500,000 a year. We don't know until you've filled your cup up for a good 3 to 5 years to see where you end up.
So speaking about cup, Ricky, you just have a freshly newborn child, right? And you're selling 2+ properties a week, plus your coaching business. What's that work-life balance look like for you? Like, I mean, what's your time management like? I see you get up early at 4:30 every day with your cup of coffee. Kind of walk us through that time management.
It works beautifully, guys. It works so beautifully. When you build it the right way, that's the thing. When you build it the right way, between 2008 and 2014, I worked 15 hours a day. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, I was hungry. I wanted it. I was gonna make this happen. Of course, there's a little difference in then and now. Then I didn't have a dialer. I didn't have an automatic dialer. I literally had to stay up all night looking up numbers on Spokio and Bigfoot.com and all these weird websites, and then dial those numbers with my finger the next day. So it's a completely different world now for agents. In terms of that, you can literally click a few buttons, find thousands of numbers, and call 100 in an hour and a half. You can call people 10 times faster and still have your whole day ahead of you. It's ridiculous what you can do in today's world. But as far as work-life balance, man, at this point, and agents can actually live like this now with the dialers, with the social medias, with the advancements in technologies and stuff like that. But I wake up at the 4:30. The reason I wake up at 4:30 is because I am flooded with Instagram messages, LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages from agents all over the world. And I feel obligated to answer every single one of them because these are agents crying out for help. They're desperate. They need answers. They need to know how to think, what to do. And so I feel obligated to the industry to help these people. So I decided to wake up at 4:30 just to handle those messages and work out and do my thing in the morning. By 7:30, I'm here scheduling my day, prioritizing. Once I put my day in place and I know what my schedule is and everything I need to do, I don't even have to think anymore. I just execute based on what I wrote down. Around 3 o'clock, I want to have another meeting with myself because I want to make sure, I want to look over my entire business to see if there's anything I need to do before the end of the day that I made a promise. Like, did I promise somebody I was going to call them or email them or send them something? I want to get those things knocked out. You're never going to get everything done on your list. A lot of things are going to go to the next day, but there's going to be a few things that are mandatory that you do that you need to make sure that you do so that, here's the kicker, at 5 o'clock, I completely shut down. Work is gone. I completely forget about it. I'm not worried about it. And I literally go into what I like to call vacation mode because when you go on a week-long vacation, 2-week vacation, when you come back that first day to work, you are fired up and ready to roll, right? That's how I am every single morning, okay? Because I trick my mind into thinking I'm on vacation from 5 to 10 before I go to sleep, and then I wake up ready because I've recharged. I wasn't thinking about work. I wasn't worried about work. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They think about work and worry about work. They're not present for their family, and they mentally drain themselves all the way to the point they go to bed. They wake up the next morning completely drained. And this is where you see people get burnt out after a good 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months. This is where you see people kind of having down days and stuff like that because they're not properly recharging in the evening time. So that's the time that I spend with the family and really I'm present, really just hanging out with them, being lazy, trying to be lazy because I really want to get into that vacation state of mind so that I can really crush it the next day. As if it's my first day back from vacation, guys. Like, I'm excited right now.
That was a great question, C3. Yeah, really good. Ricky, I want to know, do you have a coach right now? Does anybody coach you?
I don't.
You don't? Have you ever had a coach in real estate?
I did.
So what did you learn now that you are coaching other agents? What did you learn from other coaching programs that when you were developing your coaching program, you mentioned some things early on that you do differently. What other things are significantly different from what you teach to what other programs teach?
Everything. Yeah, all the other programs taught me exactly what not to do. Right. So number one, for right off the top, it's completely free. Right. That's the first and foremost, because when you charge, now somebody's expecting something. Right. And the thing is you can drag them down to the water, dunk their head in it, but you can't make them drink it. Most people are not going to follow through with the actions necessary to succeed. They're just not going to do it. The masses are going to do what's easier. And I'm telling you right now, business and being an owner of a business and being an entrepreneur and a real estate agent is not easy, right? Winners like me, for example, the amount of losses that I have to take on a daily basis is unreal, right? The listings I lose, the money I lose, the agents I lose on a daily basis is unreal. It would blow you guys' mind. But I can stomach those losses because I'm winning the war. So winners understand how many losses you have to stomach. They can stomach that many losses. They understand the amount of loss they have to take to win. But most people can't stomach that amount of loss. They lose their first listing. They lose this. They lose a little money here. And they just say, oh, God, I hate that. I got to go. So the first thing is it's free. Secondly, I don't have a CRM, right? There's no CRM. Right? While everybody's organizing their CRM, I'm out here closing deals. Right? I don't go after deals. Right? We talked about that. I'm just trying to see what I can do to help people. I think of myself as a politician. I want to canvass the market. I want to let everybody know who I am, what I do, and that I'm here to help. Right? And I want to do that with thousands of people. Guys, I made 100,000 calls from 2002 to 2017 with my finger. I talked to 10,000 of those 100,000 calls, and I had 5,000 really great conversations that manifested into relationships that turned into 100 deals a year. I haven't made a cold call. I don't use social media in my real estate business. I don't do direct mail. I don't do open houses. Don't do anything except for that. I live off the weekly email, right? When you get your income level up to the point that you want and your database up to the level that you want, you can at that point live off your weekly email. That personal brand that just stays in their face, you can live off that from that point forward. And that's how I'm able to go build other businesses while still maintaining the same volume that I left. I basically stopped building my database with. All right. So there's a lot of things, man. So I don't use social media. I don't have CRM. It's free. I mean, I could keep going.
All right. So just in deference to time, because it's hard to believe, but we've already been speaking together for almost 30 minutes now, or a little over 30 minutes. But just a couple of questions to kind of wind things up. You're still an independent solo agent. I don't mean independent. You're a solo agent. Why did you never decide to start a team, Ricky?
Well, man, the fact is, in 2012, I did try to do a team. I went through about 12 agents in a year and a half and said that is absolute. That model doesn't work for me. Right? Now, you got some team leaders out there that have these mega teams, and what are they netting? $1 million, maybe, $500,000, and they're still working just as hard. They got to deal with the drama of the agents. They got to deal with feeding them leads. They got to invest all this money. Look, guys, I buy property owners' contact information for 2 cents. I create relationships. I do a weekly email. That's the extent of my business, and I close 100 deals a year. My clients come back to me because they know I'm going to handle it. It's like McDonald's, right? When you go to McDonald's, you know exactly how the fries are going to taste, what the burger's going to look like, how everything's going to be. It's the same every time. Same thing when you do a deal with Ricky. If they refer their friend to Ricky, they know Ricky is going to show them property. They know Ricky's going to go to the listing appointment. They know how I'm going to do it every time. And it's literally why I sell so much property standing on my hands, because people know exactly what to expect. If I have a team, now, number one, I have to deal with team members' drama. I got to feed them leads. I have to, if I get a referral and send it to that person, what does that do? That's going to water down my relationships that I've worked so hard for, because that agent's not Ricky. They're not going to handle it like Ricky. People like the way Ricky handled it. See what I mean? So It's a different philosophy, but at the end of the day, guys, it's whatever works for you.
So are you maxed out at 100 deals? Does that fill your cup?
Well, no, I could do more, but the thing is I don't really have a desire to do any more, because I'm really, my real passion has really turned from selling to coaching. I'm really into the coaching side of this, the industry at this point. I'm really kind of going all in there. So I can still maintain the level of volume, that I'm doing. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot to do the volume that I'm doing because it's all past clients and referrals at this point. But I just really love helping agents.
All right, so great segue into the last question, which is, not too long ago, you joined a great company, EXP. I want to know, what is it that your plans are for the next 3 years? How has your business model changed? What's different now? What are you going to do differently now than you had planned on doing a year or two ago?
Well, to be honest with you, I guess it's not really a different plan, but it's just a different avenue, right? So, I didn't plan to do free coaching and then turn around and join EXP and start a team there. Before I joined EXP, I'm already making $1 million in the coaching business. So it's not like it wasn't a monetary thing. So. To me, I broke the 6-month record for most direct recruits. I have more frontline than anyone in the company. I'm already at 32 frontline qualified, and I've got probably 50 or 60 that just hadn't closed the first deal yet. I'm still new with the company, so I'm still waiting on those guys to come through and do their first deal. So I feel like I'll have the largest downline out there, even though a lot of you guys like yourself have a pretty good start on me. Because I can get to 500 or 1,000 frontline. That's not really a big thing to me. I have agents every day reaching out. So for me, I'm just using it as another platform to help agents more than I already was. Thousands of agents have doubled and tripled their income through my coaching program. And now I'm able to work with agents one-on-one and still continue not to charge. So for me, it's an outlet to where I've always tried to figure out, how can I work one-on-one with agents without charging? Because everyone can go to 0 to diamond and download the 90 days and do it, but it's a one size fits all. It's a one trick pony. It doesn't dive into your specific problems and situations. When I talk to an agent directly, I can dive into their specifics and really help them navigate their specific situation. So it's a totally different ball game. So I always wanted to do it, but I never wanted to charge, and this is an outlet for me to do so. So yeah, this is just a way for me to actually build a crazy large business, doing what I was doing, just on another level.
Well, and I like myself, it's given me the opportunity to touch and help many more people realize their goals, and that was a lot of my decision in order to do the same thing. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Ricky, is there anything that we didn't ask you that we should have today? And we are just about out of time here, so we're going to have to.
Man, you guys rock, man. You guys definitely asked some really good questions, got me fired up. So that's really I would say that's the objective for anybody that brings me on the show. No, man, just everybody. I mean, all I want, man. A lot of people say, "What can we do for you, Ricky? You do so much." Just please listen to what I'm saying and take just a piece of something I do and let it transform your business. Right? Start focusing on people, listening to what they want to do, why they want to do it, and help them do it.
Amen. Well, I know you come from a heart of contribution, and we love that about you. I mean, everybody on my team follows you, loves you, and we just thank you for all the great work you're doing in the industry. And it's so great to have you on the show today and to see you again now in person. And we hope to get together once this COVID thing is over and break bread with you at one of our events, and just wish you the best, and especially those in your community, Ricky, who are still hurting from the hurricane and the tragedies that you guys have had to endure over there. So thank you again, my brother. We really appreciate you being here today. Trelvis, thank you, sir, always back there driving the bus. We really thank you for the great work you do engineering the show. And we'll catch everybody, I guess, in a week. We've got some really other outstanding guests coming on. But Ricky Carruth right here live on Cliff's Notes today. Thank you, Ricky. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.